So could you tell me a little bit about your school uniform and how you had to wear it?
Well, we had a navy blue uniform, tunic and, jacket and that sort of thing. And we had to wear it all the time.
Okay. And did you like it?
No, I didn't like it.
Tell me a bit about the uniform. Did you like it?
We didn't have uniform till I went to the high school, and I hated it. We had to wear navy blue gym slips, a white striped shirt, the most appalling hat, which was a felt hat, which we used to pull on. We used to tuck a crease in the back.
The uniform was grey suits on weekdays and navy blue suits on Sundays. I think a very practical solution to the problem.
Were there lots of rules about your uniform?
We had to wear hats and we had to wear a uniform. Green jackets with the Sussex badge on the pocket. Yeah.
We had to kneel on the floor to make sure that the kilts were exactly 3 inches above the ground. So we all had to have our skirts like that,
Were you well behaved at school?
I think you'd have to ask the teachers that, but I would say yes.
Were you well behaved at school?
Too well behaved. I think I was marked out as a what do you call it, a nerd, is that the word?
Yeah.
Miss Matson was our headmistress. I remember I got into trouble once. I tended to answer back if I didn't like what they were saying, and if you did that, you were sent to sit outside Miss Matson's room.
Because your school was very religious, do you think that influenced any of the behaviour in your school?
They were very strict.
Yeah.
And there was one teacher, she was very fond of using the cane. And we had a nun called Sister Borgia, and she had a ruler, and she used to go up and down to the desks. We had individual desks with ink stands for right, and now all our subjects was in pen and ink, no such thing as borrowers then. Yeah, and if she thought someone wasn't paying attention, she tapped them on the head with her ruler.
Yeah, they did dish out some hand slaps. Didn't bother me, I don't think, because I think I was a fairly good lad.
Can you ever remember being harshly punished for something you did?
I was pretty easygoing. I didn't get punished really very often, fortunately as it happened. I class myself as a professional coward.
Were you well behaved at school or not really?
Perhaps I'd rather not answer that question.
What kind of subjects did you do at school?
Well, all of them, all the usual things. I did French as a language. I didn't. Some people did German, but I did French. I did Latin, history, geography, maths. But in those days, maths wasn't a subject. It was arithmetic, algebra, and geometry, and that was 3 different subjects.
I like sport as well.
What sports did you play?
We played netball, hockey, and tennis.
Which one of those was your favourite?
Tennis.
Was that because you were good at it, or was it just because you...
I was good at it, though I'm small. I was good at it, but I liked it. Least favourite was hockey, but I was in the team and I hated it because I got my teeth knocked out.
Oh no.
Those are bridge ones.
But I love geography, I love Latin. To be quite honest, I think the subjects you like are the ones that you like the teachers.
Can you remember your favourite subjects at school?
My favourite subjects was, apart from Shakespeare, was the stage. The plays and poems and that kind of literature.
Did you take part in any school plays at school?
Oh yes, I was. My first public appearance was when I was 8, I was Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream.
The whole range that normally you probably do now. What subjects do you do?
English, maths, science, history, geography,
Yes.
languages.
Did you have a favourite teacher?
I did.
Can you remember?
Yes, he was called Mr. Powell, and he was liked by all of us. He was a young man, and unfortunately he left to join the forces, so that was that.
What do you think your teachers thought about you?
Well, interestingly enough, the comments in my report, some thought I worked hard, and some thought that I could do better.
How did my teachers influence me? Well, I don't know, darling, quite just a love for learning, I suppose.
Mr. McCutcheon, and he was a dance teacher, and he taught us country dancing, or we had country dancing lessons in primary school and in secondary school, yeah. It's great.
Do you enjoy
guy.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the Latin teacher we didn't like. She used to growl at you, you had to come like this. Not quite, almost like that. We were very, I shouldn't say this in presence of men, should I? But, we put a raspberry on her chair, so she sat down on it. She left a stain on her.
Were the homework tasks quite big or were they small?
Well, I would always say they were big and heavy, but they weren't really. Don't suppose they were when it comes down to it.
Well, did you have homework at school?
Oh yes, at the first school, every night had homework. Yeah. And I used to work on it on the bus going home every evening.
So first of all, did you have homework?
Yes, lots of it. And it had to be handed in, and if you didn't hand it in on time and correctly done and neat, you had to go into detention.
Did you have any homework?
Yes. Once I got to the grammar school, we had homework and working towards the school certificate, which in those days was quite important, you know, if you had that. So yes, we did. In the last year, when we came to 16, we took it. We had quite a lot.
Tell me a little bit about your school.
It wasn't very big, it was right on top of the cliff.
Yeah.
And so a few of us were a bit naughty when we were playing netball or anything. We let the ball go over down onto the beach so that we could have a quick battle.
Have I got any funny stories? Probably ones I couldn't tell you.
I know I had a crush on one of the boys, yes, and we used to sit like desks down there and long day, you see. And the boys were on one side and the girls were on the other, but obviously the middle one's a boy and a girl, and I got him next to me. I was thrilled to bits.
Do you have any funny stories about your time at school?
In the grammar school, it was very rare for people to have canings, and I had a caning. We had a wonderful master who taught us Latin and languages, and we always had him on the last lesson on a Wednesday afternoon. And this teacher, I shan't mention his name, used to come in, slam the door and around the place and so on and so forth. And I thought, well, I can't be doing this. So I bought we had cap guns, where you had a little pistol with caps, and real caps, and when you pressed the trigger on the gun, it went bang, yeah? I sellotaped a whole lot on the door. And one day this guy came in, the teacher came in, and he slammed the door, and of course all the caps went off, bang! And it blew the door off its hinges.
What do you think the biggest difference between your time at school and our time at school is?
Oh, the openness, isn't it? I mean, we certainly, in those days you had to be staked around the middle and you had to do this and you never did that. And now it's much wider, isn't it? People do things and sometimes they tell the teacher to get lost and don't do it.
What do you think the biggest difference between our time at school and your time at school was like?
Well, discipline. That seems to have gone out of the window in many schools, state schools or whatever schools.
Do you think pupils at school now are worse behaved or better behaved than pupils
Oh, worse
back then?
behaved, I should think, yes.
Why would you say that?
Well, some of the boys are quite stroppy.
Although we weren't constrained too much at my boarding school, we weren't prisoners. I mean, but when you look at the children these days, they are free to enjoy themselves and work hard when they want to, and I think it's better. I think it's good.
Thank you for letting me talk to you today.
Yeah, you're welcome. I used to love school.
Yeah.
Used to love getting naughty too.